All right. Hey, man, if you're looking at your screen, we got another banger for y'all, man. Now, we just got announced that NCAA was officially on the works. I don't know whenever it's coming out, but all we know is it's coming back. I got the Eric Wayweather on right now, so we're just gonna listen to what he got to say, and basically that's all about it. But I'm really excited. I feel like I'm gonna play this more than college football. If they get a road to glory type thing going, maybe they connect an NBA Live with it. Maybe we get NBA Live back if this basketball game goes good, you know. So that's what I'm really hoping for. I think they learned their lessons on the previous NBA Lives. They weren't bad, but they were bad, you know, dribbling. I feel like dribbling could have been a way better thing. Defense, paint defense, things of that nature, where it's like, this is, I see why they lost to 2K in them years, you know what I'm saying? But with this being said, we might get our NBA Live. We might get a basketball game to where we actually get competitive with 2K, and 2K gets better and starts giving us some shit back, you know what I'm saying? I miss my hoops, man. I miss my hoops, bro. That's all I can say, bro. That's all I can say. But let's get into it, man.
We just got some of the best news in sports video game history. College basketball games are officially returning. This news came out of nowhere. No one was truly expecting it, at least not right now. I mean, we're in the middle of college football 26 season. We've got tons of news dropping. We've got gameplay videos that I got to get out later today. I've been grinding other videos for you guys that's coming out later this week. And then in the middle of all that, EA says, hey, guess what? College basketball games are coming back. What is going on? Now, I know that I mainly just cover football games on this channel, but for a game this big and for how passionate I know a lot of my watchers are for college sports, we're going to have to cover this game going forward. So, you know, if you're not a basketball fan, maybe just...
I'm going to go ahead and cover the updates as well, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't going to have as much information as this man right here. So we definitely going to be, you know, paying attention to the word on the street, you feel what I'm saying?
Game back in like 2009. So to see this now finally come full circle and this is now going to be coming back in a few years, it's an amazing story. This is what EA Sports tweeted this morning. They said, bring the madness, let's run it back. College basketball, it's in the game.
Yeah, that shit is kind of hard, bro.
Out because while the college football game did really, really good last year, in fact, it was the best-selling sports game of all time, no one was truly sure if they were going to dive into a basketball game, just because college basketball is not nearly as popular as college football. But seeing how good the football game did, it's almost a guarantee that the basketball game will do pretty good as well. Maybe not as good, but it's still going to do good. And so it was rumored a few months ago that both EA and 2K internally were talking about potentially bringing a college basketball game back, but that's really all we had heard. There was nothing too concrete on the situation yet until this morning. Now, I'm really looking forward to this because this is kind of the first time we're going to get true competition between major sports games in many, many years. As you know, when it comes to football, it's just EA. They've got Madden and now college football. There's no other company that makes either. With baseball, it's just MLB The Show. And with basketball, for many years, it's just been NBA 2K. This is really going to be the first time that any of the major American sports have two different companies making a game. We'll have 2K making NBA and we'll have EA making college, which is going to be interesting because we just haven't had that in the sports gaming landscape in quite some time.
But 2K might step it up.
For it. We would all like multiple companies to make games of the same sport because at the end of the day, that typically is going to give us a better product. So not only is this going to be good for just basketball fans in general, for college fans, but you know, it could be really good for just 2K fans in general because having another basketball game on the market that's going to be getting popularity could push them to do more things in their game. So I think that's great. And another thing that's interesting is that this is going to be the first college basketball game that's going to have a lot of things for the first time. Because if you remember back in the day, the last time we had college basketball games or just basketball games in general around that time, you know, they still hadn't fully hit their stride like they did throughout the 2010s. Like NCAA basketball 2010 didn't have an online dynasty. College basketball games never had an online dynasty. I don't even think you could create teams in that game. I'm also pretty sure there wasn't a career mode because career modes in basketball games came a bit later than the
there was a career mode in like 08 I used to play.
Was the first time that they started of my career, which was the same year.
When I used to play college basketball, I used to play with my cousin. I think he had either 08 and like 10. I want to say 08 and 10, but I know he had one with Kevin Love on it. I don't know if that was 10 or 11. And 08, maybe 08 was Kevin Love. I don't remember, but I remember he had one with K Love, and then the other one, it was the one where DeMar DeRozan was in it, and I think that was the last one. And then he also had like a super OG'd out like 2000, like, I ain't gonna lie, that's back in the gap where they were like, I don't know if y'all remember, but the NCAAs, they used to actually have the long sleeves, nigga. Them bitches used to be at like elbow length and shit, you know what I'm saying? Them bitches used to be baggy as hell, but we used to create like our own players, put them on the same team, grab the same controller, and just play that shit. Like that shit used to be live. Like, be on the same team, play as your nigga, and yeah, That's what we used to do on NCAA for the dynasties and shit.
Of NCAA basketball 2010, and they didn't have that in the game. So when this college basketball game comes back, it'll be the first one to have online dynasties, a real career mode, like a Road to Glory basketball version and things like that.
That shit gonna be hard, nigga. It's gonna be spicy.
Because we had heard that EA was working on this
March Madness with your guy hooping. Now you averaging 30 and shit. Like, oh my god, that shit hard. True freshman and shit like that. Oh man.
College basketball game they're playing, just because that's kind of become a staple in NBA 2K. So if you're bringing back in a way a competing basketball game, even though it's college, I think you're going to probably add that as well, because by 2028 we should have this in games like Madden and college football. They're gonna, be putting it there for the career mode type stuff. I do think this could be cool for college and college football, because you could have a campus, and the same would be true for a college basketball game. So I do think that's something we can probably also expect to be a part of this, because we already know it's something that they're heavily invested in and working on. Now we're going to continue on with
I did hear that soon, like Madden or NCAA 27, 28, you should be able to literally walk on your campus and shit like that. Like, that shit's gonna be live. I like the idea, you know what I'm saying? Because we ain't never had it. It's like I hope they don't do it like a park where it's just like, I mean, of course, you can't make certain campuses, but if it's like a 5-star, make the campus big. If it's a 4-star, make it a little smaller than the 5, and so on and so forth. If it's a 1-star, nigga, I want to just see grass and trees everywhere. I'm barely got a couple buildings on the side and shit like that. But if I'm in a big ass campus, like if I go 5-star, I want to be able to be like, oh damn, big ass building, walkway, people. You know what I'm saying? That shit gonna be hard. If they do the experience like that. Experience is everything, man. It's everything.
Important info that we got about this game today. And really quickly, I want to shout out today's video sponsor, Underdog. If you like sports and you like winning money, then you've got to be on Underdog playing their pick'em game. Basically, all you do is pick higher or lower on player stats, and if they hit, you can win some big money. Football season is just around the corner, and they're going to be having a ton of season-long specials coming up really soon. And the best part about Underdog is when you sign up using my code RAY, R-A-Y, they will give you up to $1,000 in bonus credit when you sign up, and they'll give you a free play. Again, sign up using code RAY for that deposit credit and a free play. So now that we have a college basketball game coming back, we got to talk about Matt Brown. If you were around here for the College Football 25 news cycle, then you know who Matt Brown is. He was getting a ton of info over the years leading up to the release of that game, and he brought us a lot of good info along the way that kind of held us over until the game dropped. Well, it looks like he's going to be back in a big way for college basketball, because he's already given us a little bit of info on it. He had said a while back that he heard that they were potentially looking into something, but I mean, again, a lot of people heard that. We didn't really know how true that was. Well, this morning he did mention a few things about this game once the announcement broke. One of those things was that it will not be called NCAA basketball, which I think we kind of expect that. He said the working title is EA Sports College Basketball, which I would pretty much already say, yes, that's going to be the title. They're going to just do the same thing they did with football. Why rock the boat? Keep the branding similar. And it says the NCAA will participate as a licensing partner, but will not be in the title of the game. So that'll be pretty interesting there. NCAA will still have involvement with the game. Another thing that he broke was that the game is going to include women's basketball programs. So this would be a standalone men and women's college basketball.
That's hard.
It does make sense, because if you remember, the last time NBA Live was around was Live 18 and 19. They were the first game to include WNBA teams inside their men's basketball game, and then since then 2K has followed suit, and they include the WNBA inside of NBA 2K as well. So this kind of makes sense. EA was the first to do something like that, so why wouldn't they do it with college basketball? And honestly, nowadays women's college basketball is really popular. I'm not going to necessarily say it's more popular than the men's. I think when they had Caitlin Clark, maybe could have made
Juju Watkins,
they were getting a lot of
dog,
but women's college
dog from USC too, dog,
quite a bit, so it makes sense to include them in the game. And when you also factor in that, unlike college football, basketball teams have much smaller rosters, so it doesn't really make sense for them not to include the women, because the number of players total, is still something they can work with. Now, it's also been said that this game is not expected to be out until 2028, which again makes sense. That's about the working time that they had to get college football out. It took them about 3.5 years, and remember, they had a jumping off point with the Madden game. I don't really think they have a jumping off point with this, unless they can still kind of piggyback maybe a little bit off of what they did with NBA Live 19, but that's so many years ago. I feel like you would maybe want to start completely fresh. Maybe they don't have to go all the way down to ground zero, but it's definitely going to be less of a jumping off point than they had with Madden, for example. So maybe they've already been working on it for just a little bit. Maybe they started a few months ago, but 2028 is when we can expect this. So we know from dealing with college football the first time around,
2028,
they can't just pop this game out in a year or two, especially if you want it done right.
That's not a bad year, bro. That's not a bad year to do it.
25. We got a pretty good game, but even with all the time they had to work on it, there were still a number of things that weren't there that we still wanted. There were still a number of things that didn't work perfectly. So it's just, when you're trying to make a sports game and add a lot of depth and add all that atmosphere and stuff from college, all the little things, it does take a lot of time, because there's so many different programs. So we know that it's going to take time, but we're excited now to have this back. As soon as we get any more news,
I feel like they might have did it a little too early.
Back into the college football season.
Maybe they
a ton of exclusive videos.
Maybe they should have waited till next year to drop the information for all this, because I mean, 2028. It's finna be 26 in no time. Don't get me wrong. It's finna be hell. It's finna be 28 in no time. Don't get me wrong, but like, we didn't really get college football information until what, 2 years before it dropped. So I don't know, man. I don't know. How do y'all feel about it, bro? I like it. I like the information that we're getting. It's not a lot, but for them to put college, women's, and basically giving us a little thing to maybe we might be able to go into the league from college, just like how we do with Madden and things like that. But that's more for us to find out through the years. I'm definitely gonna, you know what I'm saying, keep y'all posted on my end. I'm pretty sure everybody else is gonna keep y'all posted, but from my end, I got y'all, you know what I'm saying, whatever I hear and things like that, I might just throw it in a college football video and things like that. But yeah, man, you already know the drill. I appreciate all love. I appreciate all the support, man. Hey, man, that is gonna wrap it up for this part. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and check out my other videos. You already know the drill, man. Like, subscribe, and I'm out.